Hello, my name is Jason or Jay Handwork, and this is my presentation on the NASCAR and the Confederate flag case study. So first, I'd like to briefly go over some main points of this case. So the main focus of this case is whether or not NASCAR, the racing organization, should allow or prohibit the Confederate flag from their events. The Confederate flag has a long and rough history in America, as it has for many different connotations depending on which group you're talking to. Uh, in many minority groups, especially African Americans, there is strong racist connotations with the flag, as it leads back to slavery and the Civil War. Whereas many long-term NASCAR fans, especially those in the South, feel that the flag is tied to their Southern roots and represents not racism, but instead freedom and the ability to stick it to the man. Regardless of this decision, somebody's going to disapprove. One of the two groups is going to be not happy about what NASCAR decides. So it's very much what is the best decision for NASCAR as an organization. So my position on this is that NASCAR should prohibit the use of the Confederate flag at their events. I believe this for multiple reasons, but the main ones are that by doing this, they should better secure greater long-term viewership. They should be able to further the organization's ongoing efforts towards diversity and inclusion, and they should be able to have a more unified organizational voice when these controversial issues are made public and televised and covered by the media. So looking at that first criteria, long-term viewership, as you can see from this first graph, TV viewership of NASCAR has been steadily declining over the years. We can see an almost 2 million viewer drop from 2014 to 2019. And this can be because of multiple different reasons, one of which I would say has to do with the fact that the average age of viewers keeps increasing, meaning that many long-term NASCAR fans are staying and keeping the sport alive, but we're not getting as many new fans in. And because of this, while we have very loyal fans, eventually either they are going to lose interest in the sport or sadly they will die eventually. So to fix this, we want to try to bring in younger audiences. Now, if you look at the second graph, you can see that within younger audiences, at least from 18 to 34, the majority are in favor of prohibiting the flag. And within middle-aged audiences of 35 to 44, it's a bit more split, but there is some leaning towards prohibiting the flag. So based off of this, if NASCAR wants to reach these younger audiences, which I believe they do, prohibiting the flag is going to help them reach them and also expand into a wider demographic than they currently are. Next reason is to support their ongoing diversity efforts. NASCAR has tried to increase their diversity in the past through different programs such as Drive for Diversity and Joe Gibbs Racing, bringing different individuals from different minority groups into the world of racing through different positions, whether that be racers, crew members, sponsors, and they very much, through these programs, tried to put out a philosophy of creating an inclusive environment in all facets of the NASCAR industry. Now, this is great. However, by allowing a perceived symbol of racism to be displayed at their events, that very much undermines these current efforts, as it makes a non-inclusive environment in their industry. So if they were to allow the flag to stay, it very much would undermine their current efforts, and very much it would kind of negate a lot of the time, money, and effort spent into supporting these programs in the first place. My last criteria is creating a more unified organization. NASCAR in the past has tried to stay neutral or ignore the situation involving the Confederate flag. Different leadership at NASCAR has gone on interviews and very much flipped different sides, whether or not they either support using the flag or condemn using it. And because of this, they are receiving negative reactions from both sides. Now, NASCAR is not able to just ignore the situation and just remain completely neutral, because different members within the organization, such as driver Bubba Wallace, do have plans to publicly support banning the flag. So if NASCAR either doesn't say anything or they support the use of the flag, it very much comes off as the organization being disjointed and not having that singular voice that's important. So by prohibiting the flag, NASCAR is better able to speak with one unified voice throughout the entire organization. So some different goals that I believe NASCAR should pursue in the short term. The first one, and this is a very obvious one, prohibit the use of the Confederate flag at all NASCAR events. Now, this may be kind of hard to police. It might require higher security staff to be able to enforce this, but it is the first step that needs to be taken in order to kind of resolve this issue. There's going to be some backlash from long-term fans, but hopefully that should be a more fleeting reaction, and we can hope to better reach those long-term fans in the long run. Additionally, I believe that NASCAR should release a statement from the leadership about staying united with their minority drivers. This kind of is very much cementing NASCAR's stance on the issue and making sure there's no confusion about where they stand, and making sure, again, going back to that keeping a unified voice throughout the whole organization. Now, for the long-term goals, one of the big ones is going to be increasing marketing efforts to both northern regions and younger audiences. A big reason why NASCAR is in this position to begin with is because they've relied very heavily on southern demographics, and because of that, they very much have to try to cater to those demographics. So by increasing marketing efforts, bringing in this younger audience and northern audience, they can better diversify and be able to kind of create a more widely appealing organization. And finally, they should increase support and funding to their NASCAR diversity programs, such as Drive for Diversity, very much furthering the diversity and inclusivity within the organization, and just really showing that NASCAR is an organization that supports people of all different demographics and backgrounds. Right? Thank you very much. Here is a link to my written reports. Thank you and have a good day.